Today we're going to start talking about Chapter 11, which talks about reading and writing to files and handling exceptions. So just a reminder, we are not going to be talking about binary files. We're only going to be talking about text files. So just to review, when we wanted to read from files, we had to create two objects. We had to create a file object that pointed to the text file that we have our data in. And then we had to create a scanner, and we gave it that object, the file object that we created. And then because we don't know how many lines are in the file, what we did was we used a while loop. And the while loop said, while the scanner has something for me to read, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and read it. And when I'm done, I used to close the scanner. Now here, of course, you have to know what kind of file you are given. You know, someone will not just give you a file and you have to parse it without knowing the contents. You have to know the contents. You have to know, is it like, you know, does it contain a bunch of numbers, a bunch of text? If there is more data on one line, like what is the syntax, like what's the parsing, like maybe last name, comma, first name, comma, social security number. So when you read a file in, you need to know the content of the file. So let's go write some code to read contents from file to review that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here. I created a project called Chapter 11, Java Chapter 11, 1. And so here I'm going to my project file, my project folder, and I'm going to create a new text document. And I'm going to just put some names in it. So let's put cat, dog, and rabbit in it. And I'm going to save it. And now we want to go and read it in. So the first thing is I need to import scanner. And I need to import java.io.asterisk. We have to come here to main. And we have to modify it by saying throws IO exception. And that was because sometimes when we're dealing with code that deals with files, we might run into an issue where a file is not found. Now, to read from a file, we had to create two objects, file, and we put here the path to the file. Since it's in the same folder as the project, all I have to do is put the file name, and then we would create our scanner. And here, the scanner, we don't say system.in, we give it the file that we created. And we always need to make sure we close the scanner, so I'm going to just close it now. And then we have our while loop that says, while my scanner has something for me to read, I'm going to go and read it. And here I know the file has text in it, so I'm going to use a string variable to read in what was there. So I'm just going to read one line at a time, and I'm just going to print it out to make sure that the content is correct. So if I run this code, I should get printed out to the screen the contents of the file. I'm opening the file and I'm seeing what's in it, and I'm printing it out to system.out. And let's see if it can read those three names that we wrote to the file. And it was able to. So that was a quick review of how to read in from the file. Now, if I want to write out to the file, I needed to create a print writer, and the print writer acted like the system.out object, and we were able to call the print and println and printf methods on that print writer object. When we're creating the print writer object, we give the name of the output file we want it to create. So here, what I'm going to do, so this is the reading from file. I'm going to create a print writer. Calling my print writers PW. And I'm going to create a file. I wanted to create a file called copy.txt. And instead of printing to system.out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write to my PW. And because we are writing to a file, we need to make sure we close our print writer. If we don't close it, the contents don't go there. So we have to close the PW and the scanner. So here I created my print writer object, and I am writing to the print writer. So let's see if it will create that file for us. And when I come back here, there's copy, it got created, and it has the 3 items that were in it. So this was a quick review of how to read and write to files.